Hey besties, today Misfit Makers presents vinyl and glitter on a handled tumbler. And welcome to our YouTube channel. Make sure to follow us on all the social media platforms under Misfit Makers and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like our videos. Also, check out our website and our Patreon. So let's get started. I'm going to be using a 16-ounce travel mug from the Steel Magnolia and this beautiful Valentine's vinyl from Peachy Olive Glitters. Look how cute it is. I am obsessed. Okay, so I've already cut out the template. You can find this at the Steel Magnolia website under free downloads and for the travel mug. I did not check my sizes, and so I cut it a little bit too big, but I didn't want to waste the vinyl, so I'm just going to roll with it. If you cut it to the right size, it should fit perfectly around your handled tumbler. Me, I didn't double check and I didn't want to waste my vinyl. So you're going to see me struggle here a little bit cutting around the handle part. But if you size it right, it should be a breeze to put on. So just bear with me. If you don't want to cut out the template or you have a weird shade cup or a different cup you're using, you can definitely wing it by cutting around your handle like you're going to see me doing here. So as you see, I had to take a breath. Ooh. As you see, I cut off a little piece to reveal some of the sticky part of the vinyl, and I'm going to place it right to the handle. It has the little cutouts, so it's like perfect for this cup. Like, I love it. I wish I would have cut it right because it would have fit like a dream, but you know me, I ain't trying to waste no vinyl. So once you have it on there, you want to get your little felt squeegee and just roll it on there like you do a wrap, making sure you get all those bubbles, wrinkles, and any imperfections before you press down and leave it on there permanently. After you place your vinyl how you want it, nice and smooth, you want to start the tedious process of cutting around your handle. If you cut your template out right, you should just be able to lay it down with no trimming. But like I said, I didn't measure twice, and so now I'm paying for it. But it's okay. We're going to trim it around. Just be very careful, taking your time, making sure you don't overcut. Better to make little small cuts instead of making big cuts and then not being able, then having big gaps in your vinyl. So just take your time like I did here. That's why I'm speeding it up, because I know y'all don't want to watch for 30 minutes me cutting around the handle. But once you have it where you want it, lay it down flat, and then you're ready for the next step. This little booger was a little trifling, but we got her down. Look how nice. Next, we're going to put the vinyl on the butt. I love these little peekaboos of vinyl on butts. I think they look so cute. Measure your tumbler, the diameter, circumference, radius, I don't know. Measure the circle. Put it in your Cricut or your Silhouette, cut it out, and easy peasy lay it on there, and it goes on perfectly. Look how cute it is. I feel like it gives it an extra oomph. Next step is completely optional, but I love giving the tops of my rim a little trim. I just feel like it gives it a nice clean finish. Plus I can glitter it, and it also ensures that you get a good seal over your rim, over your vinyl, so it doesn't peel up or cause any epoxy to get in there. So my blade is old, so I struggled a little bit, but we're gonna get this little rim off, and look how, well, once I get it off, you'll see how nice and clean that rim is. You can leave it silver or you can glitter it. I will be glittering it because I'm extra. I picked out two glitters, a chunky called Bridegroom from Peachy Olive and a fine called Pepper from Peachy Olive as well. I'm going to go ahead and tape up the top part of my tumbler here to protect my vinyl. The bottom part doesn't need protecting, and I'll show you guys in the next step why. But the reason I got two different glitters is because I want to use the fine glitter for my for my handle and for my rim and for the bottom rim. I'm going to be using Pop of Color in the color Burgundy to prep my cup because it just goes perfectly with these colors. So as normal, prep your cup in the bottom. However, right there where the silver meets the vinyl, I can't get my words, man. You want to go a little over. Like, don't feel like you need to get it right to the vinyl. Like, go over your vinyl a little bit. We're going to create an ombre over our vinyl. So we're going to be sprinkling some of that chunky glitter over onto the vinyl to kind of give it a nice ombre instead of a harsh line. So don't be afraid to go over your vinyl. Completely okay. Make sure to paint your butt as well, being careful not to get on the vinyl. You could tape up the vinyl, put another masking tape around it, but I just kind of winged it and it worked out fine. Just take your time. Also, like I said, I picked out 2 glitters. The fine glitter is going to go right there on the bottom rim and on the top rim and on my handle. It is very hard to get really good coverage on handles or rims with chunky glitter, so I want to make sure that I avoid that disaster before it even happens. So just pick 2 colors that complement each other or that are the same shade. Okay, so now after I have painted my cup, I used, like I said, I used Pop of Color. Make sure it's completely dry. Then you want to take your Mod Podge and you want to start glittering. Once you glitter your rim there, you want to remove that tape right away. Don't leave it on there, because what will happen is that the glue will dry and you will lift up your glitter when you go to remove it. I'm going to do the same for my handle using Mod Podge. I am going to adhere my fine glitter in the color Pepper, and it just gives great coverage that I'm pretty sure I just did 1 coat on everything. That's all it needed. If you have a good base and you have good quality glitter, all you need is 1 coat. Now we're gonna go ahead and glitter the bottom portion of our tumbler by using Mod Podge. Go around your cup doing a nice thin, even coat. Make sure you have no streaks, globs, or whatever, especially if you're using fine glitter. I'm going to be using chunky glitter, so it's a little bit more forgiving, and I'm going a little bit thicker with my Mod Podge. Again, that's okay when you're using chunky glitter, but if you're using fine, you need to be careful that your Mod Podge is perfectly applied there. So it's okay if you get some of that Mod Podge over the vinyl. Actually, you kind of want that. You want it to go right at the edge of the vinyl. And then in the next step, I'll show you guys how to do the ombre. So after you have your Mod Podge nice and smooth there, like you still want it to be smooth, okay? But it's a little bit more forgiving when you're using chunky. You're gonna go ahead and sprinkle your glitter on there. Let me get to that point. I'm a little ahead of myself. There we go. There we go. Come on, Jerry. You got this. There we go. Look at how pretty that color is. This is Bridegroom by Peachy Olive Glitters. And you want to go ahead and take it up to where you put the Mod Podge at. And then after you have your glitter on there, because it is chunky, you want to make sure you pat it down with your hand. Some people use wax paper, but I just use my hand. Pat it down, make sure everything adheres good and lays down flat. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how to do a little ombre. You can do this all in 1 step when you're glittering your bottom, but I'm not fast enough, so I wanted to do it in 2 steps. And so I'm just taking my Mod Podge and making like a little line of glitter, Mod Podge around my tumbler. Then I'm going to grab my chunky glitter and just sprinkle it on there. And you want to fade that harsh line. You do not want a harsh line there because you do want to create a little ombre effect. So just kind of work it, add a little bit of Mod Podge, add a little bit more if you need it. But it's very, very simple. It's easier than you think, okay? So look how cute. Okay, now we're going to do our butt. Remember, for the bottom, the handle and the rim, we're using the fine glitter. I'm using Pepper by Peachy Olive. It is a very similar color to the chunky glitter that I'm using, so it just blends right in. This will save you from struggling with getting your rims nice and smooth. Covering chunky glitter with epoxy can always be a struggle. It is totally doable, but just don't fight that fight. Get a fine glitter and do your bottoms with fine glitter. Trust me on this, but you do you, boo, you do you. But anyway, so we're gonna do the bottom there, and we're gonna go ahead and patch up those little edges that I kind of missed. But then after this, we're gonna seal it. As always, before sealing any cup, you want to make sure you dry brush any excess. That way you can see if it needs another coat of glitter. Like I said, this glitter is super flashy, great coverage. I only needed one coat. So here I'm using Mod Podge to seal my glitter. I'm using Mod Podge to seal my handle, my top rim, and my bottom rim. So basically everywhere where I use fine glitter, I am sealing it with Mod Podge. I love this method of sealing it. Once it dries clear, then you know you're ready to epoxy. Now for the chunky part, I'm going to be using Quick Coat by CCDIY to seal my chunky glitter for two reasons. You can seal it with Mod Podge, but I prefer this, the Quick Coat, because one, it prevents your epoxy from repelling, and two, it seals really good. It seals that chunky really, really good. So just take your time, put a little bit at a time, just pat it in there, don't rub, pat, 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 seal it really good. And then once everything is dry, takes about 20-30 minutes for everything to dry. 30 ml then you're ready to FastSet epoxy from CCDIY. I added a little bit of glitter additive just to give everything, especially the vinyl, an extra sparkle. I love adding additive. Plus, little tip here, it hides some of the micro bubbles if you happen to have any, so a win-win. What I do is I start with my vinyl first, just in case any glitter decides to travel. I start with my vinyl, and then I start with my fine glitter, then move on to, then I start with my chunky glitter, then move on to my fine glitter. The handle I always do at the end, and make sure with the handle, go very, very thin. Better to do more coats on the handle than to do a thick coat, because then it gets buildup on the base of the handles and it just doesn't look cute. So just be patient, do thin coats. If FastSet is too thick for you, then definitely consider using like the regular artist resin. Works great as well. It just takes longer to dry. So I did about 2 coats of FastSet and she was ready to go. Make sure when you are epoxying, let it spin for a minute and then grab your torch and torch out all those bubbles. I usually torch it right away, wait about 10 minutes, and then go back and torch any of the bubbles that have risen in that last 10 minutes, and then it is perfect. So anyway, look how cute she is. I'm so excited. Make sure when you're torching too, guys, go really fast. Don't stop in one place. This is in real time right here. Notice how fast I am. Like, that is fast. This is not sped up. You do not want to burn your epoxy or your vinyl. Okay guys, here she is. Look how cute. I hope this inspired you to try vinyl and glitter and a vinyl butt. But thank you so much to our Patreons. Thank you so much for your support. Make sure to subscribe and follow our YouTube, and go check out our Patreon and our Facebook group, Misfit Makers. Till next time, bye besties.